Hey, for this week's discussion and our summary of our favorite holiday book, I decided to go with a Christmas book, and it is The Legend of St. Nicholas, and it's a story of Christmas giving. And the story is by Dandy Mackle, and the story would be appropriate from ages 5 to 8. The Lexile reading level is AD 640L, and I think this would be a really good book to read around the holiday, like right around the winter holiday, Christmas, or, just, I guess, whatever holiday people celebrates. In the classroom, I think it'd be pretty cool to use because it has a lot of, the pretty, even has the glitter on the bottom. I don't know if you can see it, but, the actual glitter. I think it'd be cool for kids, maybe kindergarten, first grade probably. It'd be cool for them to take the book and maybe draw their picture of their favorite time, say, one of the gifts or something. They could draw a picture of that. And then it's also a book that, at that age, students can relate to. I think that's pretty cool because, they can relate to a time that they have got a gift or time, they give a gift to someone. So, it's not very long, so I'm going to go on and read it, if that's okay. Okay, The Legend of St. Nicholas, a story of a Christmas giving. Nick followed his dad through the snow-dusted parking lot. "Not my idea of fun," he muttered. "Hey, you're the one who waited until the last minute to buy Christmas gifts for your little brothers," Dad reminded him. "True," Nick admitted. "Why was it so much easier to think about giving gifts than giving them?" Like I said, the pictures are really, really very pretty. Nick spotted a skinny Santa ringing a bell collecting for the poor. Dad handed Nick some money for Santa's kettle. Nick thought about adding something from his own wallet, but he was hoping to have enough left to get himself something. Once inside the crowded store, Nick smelled hot dogs and popcorn. Scratchy Christmas music played overhead. "You get your gifts, and I'll see to this list your mother gave me," Dad called, whispering into the sea of shoppers. Nick headed for the toy aisle, but a baseball glove caught his eye. A few minutes later, he heard a deep voice saying his name. The voice belonged to a store Santa. Santa used to go by the name Nick or St. Nicholas. He heard the Santa say to a group of children in the elf room. Nick remembered waiting for his parents in that room when he was a little kid, a long, long time ago. The store Santa continued. "In a country far across the sea, a boy named Nicholas was born." Nick leaned against the wall in the doorway and listened. Nicholas' parents were very rich. They traveled all over the world with their son. When Nicholas was 8, they visited beautiful gardens in the far east. Nicholas noticed children begging for food. When Nicholas turned 10, his parents took him to the west. Nicholas couldn't sleep at night because he kept thinking about the longing eyes of the children in the streets, children who had certainly never owned a toy. On his 12th birthday, Nicholas and his family journeyed to the north. Nicholas waved to the children playing in the snow. "Why weren't they wearing coats and hats?" he asked. His parents exchanged sad looks. "They probably don't own coats and hats, Nicholas," his father said. A few years later, they visited the Holy Land, where baby Jesus had been born that first Christmas. "In this holy place, God gave us the greatest gift ever given," Nicholas' father remarked. "Imagine how much God loves us to give us his only son." To honor and celebrate God's amazing gift, 3 wise kings brought gifts for the Christ child, Nicholas' mother said as the church bells rang out. Not long after they returned home, Nicholas' parents died. Nicholas felt lost and alone. He had plenty of money, but no idea what to do with his life. He looked to his friends for help. "If I had that much money," said Joseph, "I'd pay all of our bills because my father is out of work." "I would buy my mother a warm coat," Thomas added. Phoebe gazed at the stars. "My 2 sisters want to marry, but we don't have the money that's required from the bride's family. If I had the money, I would give it to my sisters for the dowry," she sighed. "And if I had enough, I would do the same for myself." Nicholas knew that his friends would never get their wishes unless... That night, Nicholas talked things over with God. "Father, could this be the work you have for me?" As if in answer, the church bells rang. Nicholas remembered what his mother had said about the wise kings bringing gifts to baby Jesus. He thought of what his father said about Jesus being the greatest gift. What better time to give gifts than on Jesus' birthday? Nicholas could barely hold in his excitement. First, he trampled through the falling snow to Joseph's house. He opened a window and tossed in enough cold coins to allow them to buy their own home. Next, he woke the town tailor and bought his finest coat. Nicholas ran all the way to Thomas's house and stuffed his coat through the open shutters. Nicholas' last stop was Phoebe's house. He tied coins into 3 bags for 3 dowries and searched for an open window. Nicholas was about to give up when he looked to the heaven and prayed to God for guidance. Then he thought of the chimney. On Christmas Day, Nicholas' friends came running to his house. "It's a miracle," Joseph exclaimed. "God must have heard my prayers." "We were given gifts as well," Thomas began. "My mother hasn't taken off her new coat since she found it this morning." Phoebe's eyes sparkled like sunlight on snow. "My sisters will marry next month," she smiled at Joseph. "Now I, too, can marry. We don't know who else to thank, so we thank God." Overcome with joy, Nicholas understood his mission in life. This is how he will celebrate Christmas from now on. When the story ended, Nick shook himself. A part of him was back with Nicholas. He can imagine how good it must have felt to secretly give his friends what they have wanted most. Nick had almost forgotten why people gave Christmas presents at Christmas. He wanted to feel that same joy of giving. "Nick, time to go." Dad walked up in his arms full of shopping bags. "We can't go yet, Dad." Nick never imagined buying gifts could be so much fun. He found just the right toys for his brothers. Then he spent everything he had on toys for the poor. "I wish I had enough to fill the whole collection box," he told Dad. Nick felt sure he had never looked at Christmas at the same way. He wanted to remember the gifts of St. Nicholas, the gifts of the wise kings, and most of all, God's gift of baby Jesus. And right here it has like the traditions of the Christmas giving. Like I said before, the book would be appropriate for most classrooms. It does have like a religious background in the book because it tells the story about that way. So I guess there would be certain requirements and stuff that you'd have to make considering the laws now it's in most schools. But I know the school I went to would have been okay with this book. So if I was to teach at that school, I know it would be an appropriate book. And I really like this book too because at the end it has their traditions, and at first grade level kids could write their own traditions from like their Christmas things, like who they buy gifts for, who gives them gifts, do they give to the needy, do they feed other families, and so on. And also, especially in the county that I'm from, there's a few kids that do not get much, and I think that would be a good book for maybe to give some kids some guidance, the ones that has a little extra, to maybe spend a few on the ones that don't. So I originally said kindergarten to first, but I would go on and say all the way up to second, because at that age they're old enough to, tell their parents, "Hey, I would like to donate or give back. So I think that would be a really appropriate book in the classroom setting. And also, I think it could also be used in like a Sunday school class, because it kind of ties in St. Nicholas in with Jesus and how Santa Claus basically got the idea of giving back because of the stories his parents told him as a little boy. Okay.